Hello guys, how you guys doing? Um, I just want to give you guys an update. It's been a while, and as we speak right now, my dystonia is pretty bad. I could feel it all through like my um, what do you call this? Throat, this whole area, and the back. Like pretty much my neck is. As soon as I try to move it, it's like tremoring. However, and also, I don't know, it's just also like right now I'm very cognitively foggy, and this has been happening a lot lately. Where I experience a lot of ramp ups in my brain, where I literally feel like something could just a little something I'm thinking about, and my brain just going and going and going and going, and it cannot stop. And yeah, so um yeah, and it physically makes me so tight. And then during that time when I'm ramping up, I also cannot process information. When someone's, even if it's someone just saying something to me, just trying to tell me like things I cannot process is usually like directions. It's very hard to process, or like ingredients lists, like things with numbers and like a specific direction, like instruction, those kind of things. Or like people are telling me like things step by step. Those kind of things are like I just can't understand them. Um, so there's definitely, you know, like how I was telling my friend, well, I was talking to my friend, and he was telling me how something with his work, and he was trying to explain it to me, and I just can't understand him. And he's like getting frustrated, and he's like, "Are you listening?" Like I keep repeating myself, and I'm like, "Dude, like, like I told you that I can't process information. Like it's like kind of like I had a stroke. Like you need to just chill and be patient, because it's not that I'm not trying to pay attention to you. I literally don't know what you're saying, even though you're talking to me." And so it's really frustrating. And on the good, I guess on the good news is I am progressively getting better. Even though some things are getting worse. Another thing is my vision. Um, I mean, since I started getting better, every few weeks I would notice something that my body is not doing. I remember like a month ago, I started realizing, like, just as I was doing my breathing exercise, and I was like, oh wow, like I'm not even breathing through my left nostril at all. Like, you know, um, and then like I notice if when I'm looking, I'm really not using my left eye. Like if you guys see, I'm using my right eye. You can't tell, but I know, because as soon as I engage my left eye, and this is what happens. It's like my brain doesn't know what to do with this part, the left side, my entire left side of my body. Especially if I try to use both eyes, because now I'm trying to use both sides of my body, it freaks out. Like anytime when I try to do a plank, for example, which is the first exercise I started doing, and that really just gave that kick to my brain. Like it woke my brain up, because it was like, oh wow, you actually have a left side of your body. Like it's there. It didn't know it, completely just forgotten about it. Um, and yeah, and then I start to, just actually a couple of days ago, I start to realize like what's going on with my neck, because I know I can't move my neck really. Like I've been compensating and moving it, but I don't really know what my neck is doing. I think this is where what I'm saying, that I'm getting better. Slowly, slowly, I start to realize, you know, what my body is doing. Because one day out of nowhere, I was just like, I felt my neck out of nowhere. And it felt, and it felt like I was doing this with my neck. And then when I'm moving, when I'm turning, I wasn't turning this part, this whole thing. I was turning with back here, this thing. So I was doing this and turnings. So as soon as that made sense, that like I felt that, I was like, oh. So then I try to push my neck back and adjust my neck like here, and trying to turn with these muscles here, which is what you're supposed to do. I I can't, because I can't engage this portion of my neck. I've been compensating with using this, and that's why it's so overused. Um, yeah, so just these things that I started to notice, which is a good sign because it's becoming, what I was told is, first you become aware, and because that's the first step. And once you become aware, then slowly you will get better. But it's just this process is so scary because you don't always feel better. You feel like you're worse. My neck wasn't as locked as now, and I never felt this much tightness in my throat, and like it felt like someone's like choking me. My vision, as my visions get better, the deficit between the left and the right vision actually got greater. So I'm literally, I can tell the difference, become so aware now. I could see that it's like looking at something and like your eyes are not at the same level. It's like it's blurry. It's like this weird perspective. Yeah, so things actually got harder as it got better. Partially it's just I'm scared. Am I getting better? Am I getting worse? Why is my neck locking up even more than before? Why is there more pain now? Why am I cognitively even less functional? So that leaves me questioning all the time, like, am I doing the right thing? But at the same time, I kind of do know I am, because weird things like, for example, like I said, every few weeks I start to notice something that I'm not doing, and I'll practice it, and it does get easier and easier. But while I'm practicing, it's scary, because when my brain start to notice that part is dormant and it start to trying to connect it, there's so much tremors and weird things happening, and because my brain doesn't know how to modulate it yet, so all I just get is just crazy shaking and stuff, and it's really hard to deal with in real life because you still need to function, you still need to do things, and these tremors are just, it gets in the way, and anxiety, what people think of me, I don't know, like it's just all kinds of crazy ball of just weirdness, right? And physically you feel worse because you're shaking like crazy. Like I didn't shake before, why am I, but over time it does get better. But I'm really concerned about my neck because it's been like this for a while, and it feels like it's getting worse and worse. And so fingers crossed. Also, I think because I'm shaking so much mentally and I don't want to tremor so much, I think that's part of the ramping. I start to get really tense because I want to hold in the tremor, but that's happening subconsciously. So, because mentally I don't want to move, So that's that. Yeah. Besides that, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about how my mental, how I feel mentally affects my dystonia directly. I mean, literally directly. And I would say my mental state, it's like 60% of the game. When I feel calm, when I feel better, my dystonia is so much better. And I started, I think if you've seen my last video, you would know that I started to really focus on taking care of myself mentally. I realized a lot of things, and yeah, so ever since then, and I lose my train of thoughts horribly now. And I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just, it's like a roller coaster. Just a few days ago, I was grieving. Speaking of, so I took a food sensitivity test, and turned out I'm allergic to gluten, dairy, which is eggs and milk, corn, I know, carrots, but gluten, eggs, and dairy, or milk, it's like the three hardest things. And now that I can't eat these things because I need to get better. It's not that I would die if I eat them, but at the same time it creates so much inflammation for me that it's weird because my digestion got better right away as soon as I stopped eating those things that was causing me inflammation. But I get a lot of pushback from my family, weird looks from people. I feel like I'm an inconvenience when I go out. What else? You can see I'm really struggling cognitively. Like, this is what I mean. It's like, if I try to calm down, it's really hard to lift up my neck. And I just lose my train of thoughts. Yeah, so I mean, I just through all of this um dietary restrictions, I would say, I I was grieving a lot because I felt like I was losing a part of me, along with everything else I was losing with dystonia. I feel like all the time was wasted. I grieved for who I was. There's just a lot of grieving, a lot of, um, yeah, losing who I am, because I consider myself a foodie and I prided in being able to eat whatever and cook whatever. And now it's like, I can't eat anything. Um, yeah, so it's definitely taught me a lot. Um, I have learned, not that I mastered, but I learned to be much more compassionate towards myself, um, and towards others. Um, it's funny because I was having a hard time. Every few days I'll have extremely hard time for a few days. Just sadness and grief of just who I was, and it's always when I feel like I want to give up. Um, God would give me some sort of breakthrough. Like for me, a couple of days ago was that, I was just so tired of talking about dystonia, tired of dealing with dystonia, tired of doing exercises, like just tired of everything. I just wanted to be normal for like a day. I don't know. And tired of being fearful, tired of not knowing what the future is going to be. Um, Tired of everyone think I'm okay. And like it's ridiculous to me that I have to explain to people that no, I'm not okay. I have to like fight. Not like, it's like people argue with me whether I feel okay or not. Like what why do you think I would lie about it, first of all? I mean, it's not something to brag about. I feel like shit today. Come on guys. It's just, I mean, it definitely taught me how to look at problems from a different side of like a different perspective. And I would love to explain it to you guys, but I'm like cognitively not there right now. I can't even think that much right now. So, yeah. But, what I was saying was every time when I feel like I was ready to give up, like I have a breakthrough. For the first time, I felt my neck, like what it was doing. And it was, it always came at the right time. It's like God knows that, okay, like she's about to give up. I need to give her something to keep on going. So yeah, that's that. And I guess that's all I'm gonna talk about today. I'm pretty exhausted. I'm just going to show you guys what happens if I don't talk and what happens if I try to. Oh, I guess one more thing is I know I was getting better because it's like the program that how my movements should be or how my body should feel is still there, and it's becoming louder and louder in my brain. When I move, I can feel that I'm not supposed to do it this way. I do a weird pinch with my arms and I do weird compensations that people don't see. But that original program, it's like getting louder and louder. Like some days I can actually move like normal. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like that all that information was stored in my brain and now it's coming alive again. So I know it's getting better. It's like I said, it's difficult to deal with. But yeah, so before I go, I'll show you guys what happens if I don't talk. If I try not to compensate, if I'm sitting straight, and trying to sit my hip down, my spine cannot go straight because it doesn't know how. So and if I look through both of my eyes, but the good news is eventually my brain gets to a quieter place, but in the beginning it does not know what to do. And I know this is the right position because I can feel it. But yeah, so it's just a lot of weirdness going on right now. So I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully in a few months, my neck could get a little better. It's really hard to work with too much movements. And also, one more thing is what really tremendously helped me with my spine or noticing is I know I was walking weird. I was doing this overstep, like, because as I start practicing my leg, my thighs start getting really, really, really tight. It was so tight I was hurting my knees, and then I realized it's because my feet is so sensitive. I'm not using the front portion. I can't put my feet down because I'm putting all the weight on the heel, and as soon as the front, part of the feet touches the floor, it starts to curl, start to do all kinds of things. So, I was doing a lot of sensory stimulations and things like that. And one thing I did was just using a paper pin and just pretty much, poking the bottom of my feet and the top of my feet. And the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, my feet just freed up. It felt like there was like air. It feels like there's so much space, right? And I kept doing that, and that made everything else better because then I was able to put more weight on my feet, which then kind of helped me shift my hip because my hip is very like back, and which resulted in my spine going this way, like the whole line and then my neck goes down, right? So yeah, so because I was able to put more actual weight on my whole entire feet, then my legs got a lot better instead of just using my thighs to do these weird movements when I walk. And that helped with my hip, which I think ultimately resulted in me being able to feel my neck for the first time because, that neural pathway is sort of like being awakened. So yeah, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as far as my progress. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm not an expert by all means, but I think I know quite a lot about dystonia by this point. So yeah, yeah, so I hope you guys are doing good, and yeah, stay strong whatever your struggle is. Okay, take care.